Peter Mathews joins me now from Los Angeles. He's a political analyst and professor of political science at Cyprus University. And unfortunately, I hate to be blunt, we started with the medical and health crisis, a pandemic. We are now in the depths, the beginning, in fact, of a very deep economic crisis. And now we have a political crisis. This is serious, the fact that two of them tested positive, isn't it?
It's amazingly down to the depths of the deep. We cannot despair, though. We still have to bring the country back. But it is pretty serious right now with all three of those things hitting at once. And the economy is going to end up with a great depression if we don't watch it and get this stimulus package through. Almost $1 trillion the president was asking for. Hopefully, the Senate and House will actually vote for that, for giving out money into people's hands. It has to go to the working people of America. The checks have to go right to them so they can go out there and spend it, and also alleviate some of the problems they've got.
But to that point, Peter, the only moments of bipartisanship we have seen in years could now be sabotaged by this virus going through Congress. I mean, isn't this extraordinary in terms of the implications of needing those members there to vote, and yet wondering how you get it done if really no one should go back to Congress tomorrow, likely, from a medical point of view?
This may be the first time in history we've had a direct impact on policy based on the condition of the actual members of Congress. And it's so ironic is what's going on, and it's very dangerous. And they're actually looking into maybe having remote voting, but they have to change the House rules for that. That has to be done soon. They got to work something else because the votes have to be taken so these packages can be passed and save the country from disaster and a lot of people's deaths as well.
Peter, is that possible? Can they change the rules and get this done, even if they have to do it remotely from wherever they're quarantining in D.C.?
They will have to change the rules before they can do it. That's the way it works. But they can do it quickly if need be, and even if they can do it remotely. The whole idea is to get it done, and it's a real big challenge, obviously, because so many people are being infected. Over 8,500 people have been infected. 140 have died already, and it's skyrocketing every day. And we should look at South Korea and see how they handle it as well. They had rampant quick testing early on, 10,000 people a day, and they found they got the whole thing under control by putting people into, seclusion, social distance, other kinds of strict measures. That was done earlier, and South Korea now has a leveling off of their infection rate. It's actually starting to decrease. It's decreased already. So we have to look at other countries as well, learn from them.
And in terms of stimulus and this going through, I mean, unfortunately for the United States, they're shouldering a lot of this because the entire global economy is waiting to see what happens with their stimulus in order to carry the day. I mean, do you worry that this is really going to destabilize things? I guess what I worry about is that in the next 8 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, you're going to have this virus derail perhaps something that the entire world is waiting to see.
The world really is, because America is the largest engine, it's the largest economy in the history of humankind, and it's a driving force, and the world's waiting to see if we can get it together here in this moment of terrible crisis. And members of the Senate and the House have to do this somehow or the other, get it passed, and the president's ready to sign it and get the money in people's hands so they can start stimulating the economy again and taking care of their own bills. People will be on the street otherwise. People can't pay their rent right now because they've been laid off, the hours have been cut back. Many restaurants have closed. It has to be done, though, Paul. It really has to be done.
And you're confident that that rule change can happen, and you think they will find a way, infected or not?
I do believe they will, because they really have to do that. And it's so important that both houses get it together and get this voting done right away and not delay in 1 minute. Every time they delay 1 hour, even, hundreds more people are being infected and or dying, and the economy could collapse. I mean, you're looking at the very possibility of a 20% unemployment rate if this keeps going. And that would be the level of the Great Depression, that kind of unemployment. And the thing that brought us out of the Great Depression was stimulus, heavy stimulus with federal program, like the New Deal, for example.
Yeah, a lot on the line there. Peter Mathews, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.